This is Hannah, a devout wife to Yoav of 13 years, and now she's had it. She's ready to be a free woman, but will Yoav agree to settle? This is Yoav. He's been married to Hannah for 13 years and refuses to give Hannah what she wants. He's gambled away their savings and still wants more. Will he negotiate? And these are the mediators. They're hoping to get the job done while helping Hannah and Yoav come to a mutual agreement. Can they do it? Let's find out.
You okay?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. So what are you having for dinner?
Pizza.
Very nice.
What are you having for dinner?
Steak.
Nice.
Yeah.
Doing anything fun this weekend?
Taking the kids bowling.
Sweet, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope this is fast.
Yeah, Friday, you want to get out. Hello, come in. Hannah, Yoav, take a seat. Thank you for coming. As you know, I'm Dr. Peters.
And I'm Dr. McNamara.
And we will be your mediators until this conflict is resolved. Thank you for agreeing to meet today. For the benefit of all of us, I will ask that any distractions please be put away, and make sure your phones are off or on silent.
Thank you. Before we begin, I'm going to share some rules with the both of you. It is important that during this session, you respect one another and do not talk over each other. It is important that during this session, we all use active listening to ensure we all get the best out of the session.
The waiting room is just outside to the left, and the restroom is outside to the right. In caucus, we will bring you to the waiting room. As mediators, we will be facilitating communication between the parties to promote a mutual agreement. We may suggest or explore alternative ways of resolving the conflict. Because each of you are here at the appointment, I assume that I have consent to continue mediation?
Yes, that's correct.
This mediation session is private and will remain in this room.
It is crucial that I cover some confidentiality issues with you. Confidentiality is one of the most crucial issues of the session and is critical in reaching a successful outcome. The information that is provided during this session is between the disputants and the mediators and will not be shared with any other parties. At the conclusion of the session, when an agreement has been reached between the two parties, we will write up a formal contract regarding the outcomes that have been reached through this mediation.
Which of you would like to begin?
I mean, I would prefer to speak in caucus before we continue this jointly.
Okay. Would you mind following me to the waiting room? Okay, Hannah, what would you like to begin with?
Well, my husband and I have been married for 13 years, and in those 13 years, I have been the one who has made the money to pay the bills. I also made the money that he used to gamble away that was in our savings account, and even afterwards, he continued to gamble the money that I earned because he could not hold a steady job. He refuses to agree to get a get, and in our religion, the husband is required to file for the get. The wife cannot. The only way he will agree is if I pay him $500,000. That is nearly all the money that I have made myself, not including the money that he gambled away and has continued to gamble. I'm 31 years old, and I'm not sure whether or not I will have children, but should I? I don't want them to be ostracized, and I don't want my family's reputation to be tainted either.
From my understanding in the Jewish community, mediation is the preferred way to go about legal disputes.
Yes, that is the case.
Okay.
Okay, well, it is important that you know there are a few ways to go about this. There is a negotiation to receive the get, but there is also an option of secular court.
I have consulted with an attorney, and I'm a bit familiar. However, if I were to not obtain a get and go through secular court to get a divorce, in the eyes of the Jewish law, we would still be married, and I don't want that.
I just want to make sure that you're aware that if you go through the secular court system, that he will only be granted up to $250,000 because that is legally half of what you have.
Yes, it is my understanding that if we were to go to court, he would only get $250,000, but my future children and my family would be tainted. I'm so upset, I just feel trapped. I went to the rabbi, and all he told me was to pray and continue to be a good wife. I just don't understand why it's so hard for a woman in this day and age to get a divorce. I've seen the secular world and how fair it seems to both men and women. I'm just not happy, and I want to get out of this marriage as soon as I can.
Okay. Would you be willing to negotiate up to a certain amount if he is willing to agree to the get?
I mean, I will offer up to $375,000, but that's all. Should he deny it, I will have no choice but to go to the court system.
Okay. Would you want to initiate this negotiation, or do you give me permission to do so?
I think it would be better if you were to bring it up in the joint session due to his animosity towards me.
We will make a point to do so. I will be asking him in caucus if he is willing to negotiate as well. I will not mention the number that you are willing to negotiate, of course, but I will be providing him with the same information about the divorce through secular court versus the get. If there is nothing else you wish to add to this, we will speak to Yoav in caucus now.
All right, there is nothing else.
Okay. We'll go to the waiting room.
Take a seat.
What would you like to begin with, Yoav?
13 years. 13 feckin' years, and this is how she repays me for our marriage. She's supposed to be a good wife and provide for me. You know, I gamble a little bit. So what if I gamble? Who doesn't? Life is a gamble, and I deserve what's owed to me. If she thinks I'm paying for this mediation session, she's out of her feckin' mind. Not only am I furious, I'm afraid of the consequences. And how am I supposed to support myself now? I'm just nauseous at the fact that she would spite me like this, her husband of 13 years. It's almost as if she doesn't give a shite about me.
Okay, so what do you want to get out of this mediation?
I want what's damn owed to me. Like I said, she should be a good wife, pay up, and maybe I'll consider giving in to the get. I'm entitled to everything I want and need, so why is this so hard for me to get my point across?
Okay, well, I want you to know that there is more than one way to go about this. The two that would appeal to your situation would either be through the secular court or negotiation and agreement for the get. At this point, I feel that you should be aware that the secular court will only award you no more than $2,500,000.
This is an outrage. If she thinks she can go through the secular court without my knowledge of it, she has another feckin' thing coming. I hope she knows should she have children, they'll be bastards and they'll never be accepted to have a Jewish life. Oh, I cannot believe this.
I see you're getting a little worked up. Would you prefer that we gave you a couple minutes to process this and cool down a little?
Do you have any water? I need to think through this.
Yeah. Anything else?
I just need to think through it.
Okay. Here you go.
All right. Seeing as how this would be a scandal in the community, I wouldn't want to go through a secular court. I wouldn't want my reputation to be tarnished because I believe that I am a respected man in the community. However, I'm willing to negotiate if the numbers suit my fancy.
Okay. So I am hearing that you're willing to negotiate. Do you have a number in mind that you're willing to settle for?
Here's what I can do. $400,000. Since that seems to be more reasonable, I feel like that should satisfy my needs.
Okay, now that we've heard both you and Hannah out, is there anything else that you would like to add before we conclude this and return to the joint session? Also, do I have your permission to bring this up in session with Hannah, or do you prefer to?
I have nothing else to add. I would prefer her hear it from the horse's mouth herself, but I'd allow it if you guys told her and joined the session.
Okay, I will go get Hannah from the other room.
Now that we've met with each of you in caucus, it is time for us to have a discussion all together. It has become apparent that you both are willing to negotiate in order to obtain a get, rather than going through the secular court. Before I proceed, I would like to have each of your consent on this matter.
Yes.
Since you both have given us the permission to state the amounts that you're willing to negotiate, I will start with Yoav. He has stated that he is willing to drop his price down from $500,000 to $400,000, and Hannah is willing to negotiate no more than $375,000. However, it should be known that if you do not agree to Hannah's stated price, she will take you to secular court. And to remind you, in secular court, you will only receive up to $250,000 in this divorce and remain married in the Jewish community as well.
I see this really puts a damper on how I saw things going in the rest of my life, but since I am a man and I do not want to be scrutinized in my community, I will agree to the $375,000 in attainment for the get.
Hannah, do you agree with these terms?
I mean, I'm shocked. I never thought that we would be in agreement, but I do accept.
Oh, to be the holy in court, I'm not happy about this. But knowing that your children should be bastards, should you ever have children, puts me more at ease, knowing that I am getting less than what I deserved.
Now that we have both of your consent on this mutually settled agreement, we will conclude the session with a formal contract stating that you both have agreed to the price and that the get will be granted.
I'll go get the paperwork. Now that we have the contracts written up, Hannah and Yoav, are you ready to sign?
Well, I suppose so.
Yes. Okay. Will you sign here? Date it. And also here. Thank you, Hannah. And will you sign here? And here. Thank you. Yoav.
Okay, you both are set. Should this agreement fall through or you have any questions, please feel free to contact us.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah.
Good luck without me, Hannah. You're going to need it. Consequences. How am I supposed to support myself now? I'm nauseous at the fact that she would spite me. Her husband, after 13 years, it's almost as if she doesn't give a shite about me.
You can't do that.
Oh my god, that was so good. That was seriously so good. Just stop and redo
Just
it.
pretend to sneeze or something.
Start again.
Now that
Well,
you
not all
heard
over
it,
again, but
just
like
sneeze and like, oh, I need a tissue.
That was so
and go and
fucking
get a
good.
tissue.
Was it?
wait, how do you pause this?
It
I'll
was
pause
good, but
it.
dear God.
For the benefit of all of us, I will ask that any distractions please be put away and make sure your phones are off or on silent.